Hi everyone, so it's time for yet another book video, and this time it's gonna be a book review, which I feel like I filmed for the last time like a half a year ago. It's time to review The Six of Crows Duology by Leigh Bardugo. Am I ready for this? Probably not. Let's talk about this. So, those two books are literally my #1 favorite series now, along with the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas, which honestly, if you know me, if you've watched any of my videos, I talk about Akhimov, the second book in that series, like all the time, or I haven't talked about it for a while, but it's just my favorite thing in the universe. And you know how people ask readers what their favorite book is? This literally happened to me recently. They ask like what their favorite book is, and the person is like, I have no idea, I mean how am I supposed to choose between all the amazing books? But for me, for more than a year now, it's been A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. And I was like, that is just my favorite book in the entire universe, and I didn't think that anything could reach that level of awesomeness ever again. This duology reached that fucking level of awesomeness, and it killed me. I'm gonna get to that later. This is gonna be a spoiler-free review, so you can watch it even if you haven't read it. Wow. I don't even know where to start. I could start with what it's about if you don't know it. It's, I think it's a new adult fantasy duology, and it's just like a really dark fantasy. So fun, so adventurous. Like, it has so much in it, like intrigue and tension and jokes, the best characters. It has 3 amazing ships, and it's the best thing ever. It's written in multiple points of view and in the third person. So each chapter is a different character, but it's always written in the third person, not in the first person. And most of the time it follows the story of the main 6 characters, but sometimes it has like the point of view of some random, not random, but like less important person who's like important for the story. I'm not gonna say anything bad in this review, not because I'm like biased, but because this is perfection. You know, I mentioned the ACOTAR series, and what I love about this is just, in ACOTAR series, the first book is kind of like, eh. I gave all 3 of them 5 stars. But it's certainly like different levels of awesomeness. The first one is like, I loved it when I read it, but compared to the second one, it's like meh. And then the second one is literally, it's absolute perfection. And then the third one is absolutely amazing, but it's not as perfect as the second one. With this, it's like both of them are the same amount of awesomeness. And I feel like I've never read a series that had this. In book series, there are always the better books and the kind of less awesome books. With this, it's like they're both the same amount of awesomeness, and they're both like the same, but it's not that like this one is boring, you know, it's just the same awesome world building, the same awesome characters. Honestly, Leigh is fucking amazing. I feel like all writers are usually good at certain things, either like characters, ships, the plot, the world, whatever. She nails everything. In this duology, at least. I know that people say that the Shadow and Bone series is not as great as this. I read the first book and I have to agree. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. So if you didn't like that, then definitely give this a shot anyways, because this is a whole nother level of everything, because she's good at it all. Writing, check. World building, check. Characters, check. Tension, check. Plot, check. Shapes, check. Everything is fucking on point, and I can't even function thinking about this, talking about this. I'm dead. She's incredible. She's amazing. She's awesome. And this killed me in so many ways. I'm gonna get to that, but this book are the best thing ever. I'm like, I read this in fall And a story that I've said to all my friends, and I've already talked about it on YouTube, is I read this book and they didn't have this one in the bookstore. It was already published, but I don't live in an English-speaking country, and so not all books are in English in my bookstores. Just a few are. And so there is a limited amount of number. What the fuck did I say? Limited amount of number? Okay. There's a limited number of English books, but we had this there. I bought this in the bookstore, but they didn't have this, and so it took me a billion years to get it, and I finally got it, but then I had to study and do stuff for school, and so I couldn't read it, and now I finally did. And it shattered my soul, it tore my heart apart, and I would hate Lee for it, but honestly that pain was worth everything. My best friend can prove that it actually shattered my soul, because like I cried like 12 times like after I read the book. The next day after I read it, I couldn't function like a normal human. I was literally like, I didn't speak, I kept thinking about it, everything reminded me of it, and I was just dying inside, and I'm still heartbroken, but now I can finally function and I can talk about it. But again, that pain was worth everything, and this book was actually the first book that ever broke my heart. And I realized that it was mind-blowing because I've been a bookworm for like 3 years, but there's never been a book that broke my heart. Because yes, there have been books that made me sad, but not a single book broke my heart, so this book had the honor to do that for the first time. Thank you very much. I died, but again, that pain was worth it because this series is perfection. Lee is an incredible writer, and I absolutely recommend you to read this. Like, 1 billion stars, man. It's the best thing ever. Whew, yeah. It is incredible, and it's like incredible on so many levels because it made me feel so much. It is like incredibly written, and everything like writing related when it comes to the professionality of the books, it's absolutely on point, like A+. And just, it made me feel billions of things. It's fast-paced, it's fun, it's just, it has some awesome romance in it. It is just so much intrigue and so many layers of the story and the plot, and literally everything is on point, and y'all need to read this ASAP because she's an incredible writer, and I need her to write more stuff like this because I need more desperately. So yeah, and also something I didn't say, even if you haven't read The Shadow and Bone, you can read this because I read the first book, because I felt like when I started reading this, I was slightly lost, but I was lost in like the first chapter, and then like I didn't need the knowledge of Shadow and Bone. So if you don't want to read that, you don't have to, you can go straight into this, and I'm gonna shut up now. My heart is broken, but at the same time, it's so full of feelings and life because this duology is the best thing ever. And thank you, Lee, for writing such an epic duology that made me feel so many emotions, that broke my heart, which thank you for that, but I mean, I'm dead. Tell me if you read it, what you thought about it, and if you haven't read it, go read it now. I love you all. I'm gonna see you soon in the next video, and have a brilliant day. Bye!